Okay, I decided to make some short videos discussing several different mill surplus guns that are more common, probably got more interest, and I'll discuss their current availability and pricing here in October of 2023. Alright, what we got up here today in this video we're going to talk about is the 1891 Carcano long rifle and the Italian, and I will get the exact nomenclature, model 1870-87/15, which is the old Vetterli gun converted for the 6.5 in World War I. Now, both of these guns are fairly common, and when they recently imported from Italy all of the Carcano guns that were in storage for God knows how long, they were all carbines. Okay, either cavalry carbines or short rifles or troop specials. There really weren't any long guns. If there were, there may be a few of them, and probably so few that they were sold off and not even mentioned or seen anywhere. So they haven't imported any long guns for quite a while. I believe in the maybe the 90s or maybe early 2000s when they were cleaning out Hungary and Bulgaria after the Iron Curtain fell. There were Italian guns that were left in those countries and kept in storage. So that's probably the latest. I never really kept up with it much, okay? But this current influx of Carcanos, the long guns weren't in there. Now, why do I have this one out? I took this one out because when I bought it years ago, it wasn't so much for finding the nicest condition. This is, I think the date is 1918, and you will find a lot of these long guns very commonly will have 1917 or 1918 dates on them. There must have been a bunch of them left at the end of the war that weren't used much and were sold at one point in time and ended up here on the U.S. surplus market years ago. This does not have an import mark on it, so that means it came into the country before 1988. It's not in the best of condition. I can still see part of the stock cartouche and that on there, but the key to this is it has a really nice bore. It's not a mint bore. I believe the gun was used, but is a clean bore with no, sharp rifling and no pitting. The reason I got it is when I developed my ammo, I developed it on this. Now at the time when I bought this, say in 2005, 2006, I think I paid over $200 with everything shipping and that. I paid over $200 for it, which at the time was extremely high, okay? Now, going into my price guide from 2017, excellent condition $450, very good $500, good $225. This, depending on how you grade it, it's complete, it's got a cleaning rod, the markings are visible, it's fairly nice. So in 2017, you're looking at maybe $350 gun, which sounds about right, which when they were bringing in the carbines for $2.5, $350 would be a solid price on this gun. Now I recently went to a gun show and seen something just like this, no better, no worse. It's $650 or something, which to me, I don't believe it. And I was watching on and this is going back a few years when the carbines were, I was trying to find actually the other variation. I was trying to find a better condition gun to kind of upgrade the collection. And I was looking at long rifles, okay? Now, the 1891s had the gain twists, and it isn't until you get to the 9141s or the Model 41 rifle, which has a different rear sight and has just standard rifling and is a long rifle. Okay, I have one that's not in bad shape, but I was looking for one a little bit better. And that's when these things started creeping up. And we're talking good condition ones. We're not talking the Royal Tiger crap. Okay? They're creeping up into the 450 range. Alright, and I kind of didn't really want to tie up that money when I had two fairly good examples. And with the 41s, there were a bunch of them brought in years ago. And you will find them guns are like mint. Mint condition. Beautiful wood, bluing and that. And whenever they do pop up, they go quite high. And again, like I said, condition. If you got one that's mint as hell, I mean, pristine wood, bluing and everything, yeah, 400 or 500 is what they were going. To me, it was a little too much, and I didn't really want one that bad to start getting into that price range. And they are desirable, and a lot of people will bid on them when they do come up. I guess how they price these is like Royal Tiger had the long rifles. They were the only ones importing them into the U.S. And for a time, they had 91s. They had them in antique, so you could get them without any having to go through a dealer or a CNR license, and they were astronomical. I don't know, they wanted $800-900 for them, which ain't worth it. And then they had a bunch of them. Some people have bought them, and again, the problem with the Royal Tiger guns is very few of them are in what I would call good condition, with some sort of shootable bore, complete, not dipped up. A very small percentage of them guns are in there. A lot of them have been laid out in a damn barn with goats pissing and shitting on them for 20, 30 years. The bores are rotted out and everything, and you're paying close, $500-600. And even when they have their flash sales, some people get lucky and they'll find one that maybe has a shootable bore, but the stock's broken or something. These are still common enough that if you could go to a gun show or somewhere, look at the gun, look it over, you're better off paying $100 or so more than what you think it's worth to get one that was brought in years ago like this than take the chance of spending the same amount of money or more and getting some piece of junk from Royal Tiger. I think they're starting to run out of shit anyway, so that's a good thing. But that's what you're looking at. Honestly, in this condition, this ain't that minty. 400's a stretch. I don't know if I'd go there. It's still a common gun. They're still around. I know when I say it's a common gun, you don't see them up for sale, but they brought so many of them in the country, I don't know where they went. Okay. So, now we'll go on to our Vetterli. This is also an extremely common gun. These things were brought in years ago. I know Royal Tiger's bringing some in now, but they were brought in years ago, and they were actually these things. They warned you not to shoot the standard ammo in them, and they were sold dirt cheap. And a lot of them they actually used as wall decorations. They made lamps out of them, or some of them, which was a common practice after World War II, is they weld the chambers shut on these. So they would deactivate these so you couldn't shoot them for safety reasons. And they were literally turned into a wall hanger. You'll see a lot of these in auctions, okay? You'll see them. It is a nice piece to get in there to your collection. Now, when it comes to the price guide, okay, says in excellent condition, $300 for this. Now, the thing is, if it's welded shut, it ain't worth nothing. It's, $50, $100. Some of these sights I've seen snap off, which is a common thing, and people glue them on backwards or whatever. So you got to be careful with that. This particular one has been refinished. It's kind of like they put their Arsenal paint on this, which is a black, and then they coated it with shellac, which was a way of preserving old guns. Now somebody's went and sanded down this stock, and you can tell with the butt plate is proud or sticking out because they sanded so much off. They must have sanded a bunch of dents off. Now it looks nice, but this kind of ruins the collector's value by doing this. So in reality, this isn't really, it's a nice gun, it's in good shape, it's got an excellent bore, and the reason I kept this one is it shoots really good, is why I kept this one. Generally when I get one in a lot like this that's been head to stock sanded and everything, I trade or sell it off and try to get one more, the original grungy stock with all the cartouches in it and everything, with a good bore. And honestly, a nice example of this is $350 gun. $350, okay, realistically. They are common. You will find more of these Vetterlis than you will the 91 long rifles for sale. So for all intents and purposes, you know, these are about a 300, if they're in real nice shape, 300, 350. Now you go on the gun broker and you see some of these going for well over $1,000, $700, $600. You know, they're not worth it. They're too common. There's nothing special. You can shoot these. If you know, I get a cast bullet with a light load. I shoot these all the time. Okay. Another thing, a lot of people believe you take a standard cartridge and dump half the powder out, and that will be safe to shoot. No, it is not. Actually, there are people that had problems and blew these guns up doing it. If you would like an in-depth explanation on why that practice is wrong, put a comment in the box below and I will make a video just addressing that in detail. Okay? But these are an interesting gun. If you're cautious, they can be, you know, shot. You can shoot them and use them, and they fit in your collection, you know, boom, 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 World War I or whatever, or Italian rifle collection. They are a nice gun, but again, they're very common, okay? And some of these prices that you see these things going for is totally ridiculous and unfounded, because there's really no super rare variations of this rifle. It was put together towards the end of the war as an emergency thing to get guns to rear line troops of some sort. The only ones would be the ones of this version that are hard to find are the actual troop special guns that have been converted. I've only seen one or two of them ever come up, and they went for in excess. I got into bidding $600 to $700. People have told me they had the little troop special ones converted to 6.5, so I have to take that back. That would be an actual one, not one made up, but you know, one that the arsenal converted. That would be a rare gun, okay, in this model. And I've yet, like I said, other than 8 years ago, I seen a couple come up on a gun broker and they went for like $700 a piece. And that was a while back, okay. That would be a rare one to find there. So that's that. Like I said, if you guys want some more videos on this, and this I brought out because I have to develop some ammunition, and I wanted to use the long-barreled rifle with the game twist, because the game twist is probably the most common with all the short-barrel guns out there. So whenever I test my ammo, I do it with the game twist, rather than the Model 41, which has standard rifle, because that will be a more difficult rifle to find. So we make the ammo with the game twist barrel. Alright guys, that's my thoughts on it. You know, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll try to get some more guns out here and describe current prices and rarity of them. And then I'll bring a few more examples out and make a couple more videos like it. And if that's what you like to see, you know, you like the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.